Hi there, I'm John from the gun shop and we're out here today in the woods to talk about different types of deer control. Second in our series of deer stalking information videos. Today I'm going to take you through on this beautiful sunny day. It's going to be quick because or else my ginger skin will burn, hence the glasses, and the different types and the different methods of which you can shoot deer around the UK, and different methods we use and why we use them. This sort of stemmed from a question I was asked the other day of how do you do it. So there is a lot of different methods. It's quite a big thing. So we're going to start with high seats. Shooting deer from high seats is probably one of the most common methods of deer control in the UK. Essentially what you do is you put a big seat up against a tree, and these can range anywhere from sort of 2 meters to 5 meters high, depending on the tree, depending on the land. You sit up there, you're out of the sight line of deer. Seems to be the only thing that ever spots you in high seats is muntjac, and that's just because they're, horrible. You're out of the scent line, the wind isn't taking your scent down to them, so even if the wind isn't right, they'll be able to, essentially, they have no tree-bound predators in the UK. It's not like in Africa where the animals look up in trees looking for jaguars. They have no tree-bound predators, so they don't generally look up in trees for danger. They'll be on the ground looking at eye level. The second reason you use high seats is safety. You get great backstops in your high seat. On flat ground, which there is quite a bit obviously around here and other places in the UK, it doesn't make life particularly easy to get a safe backstop for a deer. Obviously when you're shooting deer you need to contemplate where the bullet's going to come out the other side a lot of the time and where that bullet's going to go. So you need a safe, solid backstop before you pull the trigger. A high seat almost guarantees that, almost nullifies that point, although obviously you still check. It certainly makes life an awful lot easier. You're not going to go lacing bullets off into industrial parks or anything along those lines, which is bad. We don't like that. There is a third one for high seats, and that I suppose is ease. If you stick someone in a high seat and they don't know where they are, they can't walk where they're not supposed to walk. It's nice, it's safe, and to be fair, it's quite casual. The other thing, it's a great stable shooting platform. You have a bar in front of you, so you just get your rifle and it's there, led on a bar. You're essentially shooting prone, which is obviously one of the best shooting positions possible. And if it's safe, safe and accurate, you can't get much better than that. That's why we use high seats. There's another type of high seat called a doe box. Not really a high seat, but essentially it's just a ground hide, where the ground sort of is a bit more permissive for, where the ground's a bit more permissive for backstops and the lay of the land works a bit better. You can put a doe box, not saying against a tree, but just a box, a hide, a shade that you can go and sit in with a little hole out the front, and you can quite happily, sit there. It hides you, it hides your scent a little bit, and that's perfectly well. Not so common around here, I've found, but they do use it up country a bit more. You get freestanding high seats as well, four-leggers, and sort of they call them European high seats or German high seats, where they have 4 legs and they step freestand. And they can be made out of anything from wood to steel to scaffold pipes. It doesn't really matter. The concept is absolutely fine. We don't use tree stands like you guys do in America, not really, because, well, the ground that we have to stalk on is generally ours, or we have long-term permissions there, so it's worth investing in permanent high seats as opposed to spending a day setting up. It becomes more of a quick and easy job. Plus the deer get used to it, and it's always, like with anything, deer stalking, pigeon shooting, with any truly wild game, it's about outsmarting them, I suppose, and fieldcraft. Secondly, also with high seats, you don't have to be a great stalker. All you need to do is sit there. All you need to do is sit there and wait for deer to come. It's great. You can put bait points out, salt licks, that sort of thing if you really want, but generally if you stick it on a little highway where the deer run through, you shouldn't struggle too hard. Christ, you stick it anywhere, you'll generally be alright, unless you're a complete numpty. So, next you move on to stalking, as we would call it. Lowland stalking involves walking quietly, slowly, the use of binoculars, a lot of use of binoculars, cutting through woodlands, cutting through scenery with your eye, with your binoculars, looking, seeing, and then you walk in and find your animal, spot your animal, you stalk into your animal, and you shoot it. Around here, where your fields are generally a bit smaller, you've got a lot of woodland, it's a much more tranquil, a lot more pure perhaps, whereas high seats are probably a better form of deer control. To truly go and stalk your deer, it takes a bit more skill. A skill that, to be quite honest, I'm not the best at, but I know a lot of people are a lot worse than me, and it's better off to just sit in a high seat, wait, and shoot something when it comes along, than to stalk, bump 100 deer because you didn't spot them first, and you know, dress head to toe in camouflage. To be fair, most of my stalking is done in what you see me in here, which is my work gear I go out after work, that is, I suppose, slightly geared towards that fact, and the fact that it's brown and khaki, but you don't need to be fully head to toe in real tree to shoot deer if you know how to stalk. I mean, Christ, look at Europeans, they wear orange, lots and lots of orange, and they still manage quite well. So stalking, you'll want sticks, you might want a bipod, and depending where you are, different shots and different things, your setup will change, but we'll go through that in a later video of setting up your stalking rifle, and we'll talk about different setups for these different types of shooting. Deer moving. This is more of a control method perhaps than stalking, and I should have dwelled on stalking a bit longer, but the concept is quite simple. We've all seen it with Elmer Fudd, walking quietly on your tiptoes, looking for deer, or rabbits as the case may be in his thing, and when you find one, you go super quiet, you get in close enough for a shot, and when you're happy, you take the shot. Deer moves are a little bit different. And this is a sort of a true form of deer control, if you like, where you will have a mixture of the two, stalkers and high seats, when everyone will be fully briefed on what's going on, and instead of sitting in a high seat waiting for deer, you'll have stalkers looking for deer, and if they accidentally bump them, you've got more. Essentially, you're just moving the deer around. A bit of a strange thing, really, and something I'm not going to dwell on too much, because it's not something that the general public will do. It's more of a professional job, to be honest. But it's something that you should be aware of, that deer moving is a thing, and it's probably the most efficient way of culling deer when you've got big numbers to make up, because you can cover all of your ground, they can never hide in a bush, and essentially you can get the numbers down to where they need to be. Apart from that, you know, we don't have driven deer in this country. That was made illegal a long time ago. It just doesn't work. You don't get safe shots, and there's a lot more wounded animals. It's why Germany and the continent generally have this massive tracking dog thing, is because they wound a lot of animals because they shoot them on the run. And however good you are, I know a lot of people who aren't that great. I've shot running boar and driven boar, and it's good fun, don't get me wrong, but it is hard. It's harder than people think. So we don't do that in this country anymore, probably rightfully so. And that's that, really. I can't think of any other methods for you at this moment. If you guys have any questions about anything else you've heard of, or any phrases or anything like that, please ask, and we will see what we can do to sort of answer your questions on that. As it is, high seat stalking are the two biggest methods of it. Obviously, in different parts of the country, these methods vary. If you're in the Highlands, that's true stalking. You know, you've got massive ground to cover. You've got a little bit, they can see you from a lot further. You don't have hedges and trees and bushes to cover you quite so much, just lowland heather, or highland heather, sorry, low heather in the Highlands. And that is a very different kettle of fish. However, I am totally underqualified to talk about that. So I'm going to stop there. However, I would say that it's a very different, very pure way of doing things. But like with all things, I'm guessing it's the guys who are up in Scotland find it probably about as dull, not dull, but don't get as excited about it as I do, but they'd probably get about as excited as I do about coming down here and shooting roe. So, there you go. Fantastic. Enjoy. Goodbye.